Welcome back, family. Lancescurv here, as if you didn't know. Today I've been laughing, thinking of old jokes with old friends, and just cracking up. And when you get to that point where you find yourself, when you're at home by yourself or you're in public and you're around people and you're in your own thoughts, and you just start to crack up, that's a very healthy sign, right? It's just like when you're physically ill, that the first thing to go is your sex drive, your libido, because that's not really needed for life. That's one of the systems that's not really needed. So when you see people walking around and not able to smile, not able to laugh, they can laugh, but they might force it, then there's something going on. So for me, I've been laughing all day. The slightest thing, playing old songs and thinking about old memories, not living in the past, but enjoying those high points. And that's where I am right now. On the other hand, I'm a little fatigued, and that's something that I never would admit before. Like you have a championship boxer who, after the fight that was tough, and the interviewer comes up and says, "Were you hurt in the third round when you caught that really good left hook?" They never admit it. No, it stunned me, but it didn't really hurt me. And you can tell by the replay that left hook hurt that fighter. And then long after he's retired, he'll admit, yeah, it hurt me. I was almost on my way out. So over the years of doing stuff on social media, which I enjoy doing, I just really enjoy doing it. I'm not looking for attention. I'm not trying to be famous. It's just I enjoy doing it. All my life, if you've known me from single digit ages, I love good conversation because I was raised up in a household that, we had good, intelligent conversation, lots of jokes and stuff like that, but really serious stuff. And my parents always included me in it, and so that's why I gravitate toward those good conversations. And the low vibrational stuff I can do because I've been around people who are low vibrational, so you have to learn how to speak their language. You don't want to come off as being stuck up or anything, right? But today, we're going to speak about dating scams. People who try to scam you in the dating world. Now, it's been a million years since I've been involved in the dating world, but I don't forget. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say, just a random thing, because I'm really laid back. I can't believe, I could believe it because I executed it, Mrs. Scurv and I, but I can't believe that I'm in a whole different reality. Every now and again it hits me, right? It's just like a young woman who gave birth and a child is right there in front of her. She's like, I can't believe this. The child's 5 years old. It's like 6 years ago, I had just got pregnant, but look at my child here talking, So I just went out under one of the balconies, a carport back there, and it was dark. I do that sometime, and I'm just inhaling the air and hearing the trees and seeing a couple of things that I couldn't identify fly around, whether it was a bat or a bird. I said, I can't believe I made it. I can't believe I totally changed realities. Now I can believe it and I know it. Because when I was in America and I was working, especially when I was driving the bus, right, in Orlando, and I would see people from different countries, and sometimes we're at the red light, and they're friendly, tourists, they're waving at you. Oh, I wave back, because the experience for them, everything that they see and experience is part of the package of them traveling. So, they're older folks, they're friendly. So I might see them at the red light in the rental car and say, hey, how do you like it here? We like it to visit, but we would never live here, right? And so at those red light conversations, of which there were many, sometimes if we weren't speaking to the person at the red light, I would look around and I would realize that there were realities that were going on right now on the other side of the planet, in different countries, and people have their lives there and they love it there. And whenever I would go through kind of, not rotten days, just incidents, getting cussed out by a teenager for some reason, or somebody has an attitude on the bus. I said, man, you know, there's this type of stuff all over the world. But I said, man, it'd be nice to be somewhere where I don't have to deal with this tension, where I wouldn't have to deal with this level of the negative side of human nature, which people are stressed. They've always been stressed, especially in America, and they don't know how to handle it. Some do and some don't. So coming out here in West Africa, it's not perfect. There's issues here, as there are all over the world. But for me, isolated up in the mountains behind a high wall and privacy, and it's a feeling to detox. Just detox from human nature and these weird energies of people that may see you at peace and want to rattle you because they might be smiling, but they don't have the inner peace. And some days, just my mere thoughts thinking about things may take me out of that peace. You know, like when I had to deal with all those cops on me when I was arrested and thrown in jail, you know, that takes me back to different places. But then I come back and I say, you know what? That's something that's distant, and this is my reality now, and I'm sinking into it and enjoying it because I can drop my guard a little bit more. So that's why I like to have these human-to-human conversations and express real feelings. And my persona here is not a facade. I know what I want to talk about. I jotted down some notes, but I'm a human being here just vibing with you. And I just want to say I appreciate all of you that are here, right? Yeah, so I was speaking with a friend of mine, and we've known each other for a long time. We've known each other since 1969. I was born in 1963, so that's 6 years old that I've known him. He's 4 years older than me. And I've always been a smart kid, so I would hang out with people that were a little older than me, even from young like that. And so we do the nature thing, you know, looking for praying mantis egg cases and looking at certain types of frogs. When they had frogs up there, they had frogs in New York City. They had snakes in New York City. They had exotic spiders and rabbits and fireflies, right? But all that's gone now. But back then, in my backyard, he was into nature. I was fascinated by it. And of course, you get older, you evolve, you get into your hobbies, and I got into bodybuilding, we get into the girlfriends and stuff, and all these years, you know. So I'm 62, he's 66, and we're still cool with each other. But he was telling me he's single, he's kept himself very well, but he would tell me different things about the dating scene, right? And the scams that a lot of these young ladies are pulling. Not everybody, right? But it's a different world out here. And from my point of view, it wasn't that bad with me coming up back in the day because it was a whole different thing. This world as it is now, this society as it is now, it is so totally turned around. And it's almost like the women, and not all of our sisters, but many of them, it's a transactional thing and it's a business thing. It's a thing where if I go out on a date with you, I have to get something. I have to get something out of you. And I have to get something. This is not me talking. I'm kind of paraphrasing some of these women. And they don't say this, but this is their mentality. If I go on a date with you, I got to come away with something. If I go on a date with you, I have to have a bill paid. I have to get something on a material level, some jewelry, or you know, I'm going to come on a date with you, but I didn't tell you I had 7 kids, but those 7 kids are going to be there, and you're going to feed them all so much that they're going to take home a doggy bag. You know what I mean? So that was always kind of strange to me, because and I can't say back in my day, because today is my day. But I'm not dating, right? I'm off the market. But it's just so strange, some of the things that I've heard from him, from other people, and from him, and watching YouTube and the complaints that they have now in the dating scene. And I can see it, even out here in Ghana. Honestly, when you're married, it doesn't matter. A lot of the young girls expect to try to come at you and get something out of you and swing a little episode secretly. That's like epidemic out here. Epidemic out here. Because you're viewed as a source of money when you come from America, you must have money. You're not working a job. You must have some kind of income coming in. You're an older guy. Well, maybe once a week I can come around. Nobody has to know when you give me money. They don't say it that way, but they set you up that way. They act friendly with you and they start complaining about, I got to pay this bill and that bill. And I'm friendly with everybody. But when you realize where they're going, it's like, oh, snap, really? She just came out of the church and she's coming at me that way discreetly? Yes. So it's all over the world in different ways. But in the US of A, there's a lot of things that different ones. So I decided to jot some of the things down, do a little research, and I'm going to speak briefly about some of these scams. But for many people, the dating in the present day can be exciting, but you got to understand it can also be dangerous. Many men in our community step into relationships with open hearts, only to discover they're being used. Too often, a brother thinks he's meeting someone who is genuine. And let me just say, they're all not looking to meet somebody who's genuine, because you have brothers out here who have the scams going on too, right? But I'm focusing on the women to warn some of the innocent brothers, because I know a lot of good guys out here who are trying to do the right thing, and they just want a woman in a relationship for their own self, and to eventually go into maybe engagement, courting, engagement, and marriage. This is for them. This is not just for anybody to say, be careful, but play the game and try to. It's a battlefield, because that's what it's become. And it's crazy, But he thinks he's meeting somebody genuine, but he's really facing a scheme designed to drain his pockets, And I've seen too many men get caught up in these traps. Some of these scams may seem small, some of them are. But when you add them up, the cost is heavy. It's not just in money, but in trust and in spirit. You get broken down. You get tired of this, like, wait a second. You start to think this is everybody. And it's not every woman. There are a lot of beautiful, kind-hearted, studious, clean living women out here. But the bad ones make it bad for them. What makes this worse is that the very men trying to build real relationships end up scarred and cautious. This is not about hating the women, because there are many strong, respectful, and honest sisters out here. But in the shadows, there are others who have mastered the art of trickery. They know how to make promises, stir up emotions and passions, and vanish once they get what they want. Again, this is not all women. I'm not saying this is all women, but those, I can't even call them gold diggers. They're like sharpshooters, because this is all they're in it for. But I have to say that these games weaken our unity as a community. The truth must be spoken. Too many brothers are walking blind into situations where they are expected to provide everything but receive nothing in return. And when I say receive nothing in return, I'm not talking about anything sexual. Now, in the adult, how could I say it? In the adult projections, when you speak about dealing with somebody and that comes to be put on the table, but that's between you and the person. So if that's kind of like inferred that we're going to get to that point, then you expect that. Not just to run and jump into bed with anybody, but you expect that, right? To a point. We're talking adults now. But a wise man sees the pattern before it plays out. A foolish man keeps paying until he has nothing left. What follows is not fiction. My suggestion would be, keep the sex out of it. That shouldn't be part of any equation. The men should not expect it. The women shouldn't be advertising it, number one. But then again, this is a different day and age. So I had to speak about that on that aspect. If you're promising something, and it shouldn't be, oh, she promised me this. It should be mutual. But again, this is a different generation. But these are real scams that are happening every day. If you're a man entering the dating scene, pay attention. Protect your money, your time, and your spirit. Let's talk about a few common dating scams in the black community, right? Number one, the fake cab fare. She tells you she will pay half of the taxi and ask you to send her the money for her half. Once you do, she keeps it and never shows up. But why would she say she's going to pay for it and then turn around and ask you to send her that half? What do you expect? Now, if you know this person, you got issues because you know this person. But this usually happens when the woman gets you hot and bothered and I'm coming over and yeah, well, something came up. Just send me the other half. Now she has that money. Number two, the hungry children trap. You invite her to dinner. She shows up with several children you didn't even know she had, expecting you to pay for everyone's meal. Right. She shows up with several children you didn't know that she had because you just met her off of Instagram or Facebook or whatever, TikTok. You don't know her. You don't know her. And she's going to bogart you because she doesn't care if you don't like it. A lot of guys are going to grin and bear it. A lot of other guys are going to say, hey, I left my wallet in the car. Let me go to the car and get my wallet so I can pay for everything, and gets in the car and leaves. That's deception. That's no good. Number three, the babysitter lie. She claims she needs money for a babysitter so she can go out with you. You send her this money, but she either never shows or her family watches the kids for free while she pockets your money. It's all about gaining. They're not going to ask straight up. They're going to be slick about it. Number four, the ghost after the feast. She demands expensive restaurants and top shelf meals. After 1 or 2 dates, she disappears, leaving you broke and confused because she's doing this with other guys. You see, I don't know whether it's an Instagram thing, right? But you have so many women that may not be women of means. They may be middle class, lower class income. I'm not putting anybody down. We're just talking about what it is. And they see these fake influencers on Instagram or other social media platforms like TikTok and whatever, and they want to emulate that. And they figure that, well, I look better than her. I got what it takes. And what I have as my intimate apparatus is just as good as hers. So I deserve this. And you're meeting these people. And let me tell you, aside from the scams, social media, and I'm going to use this term, whole stroll, H-O-E, stroll. And that's what we used to call it up in New York back in the day growing up, the 70s or 80s. Hey, man, I saw my classmate on the whole stroll, meaning she's prostituting on the street. But social media is the ultimate whole stroll now, because I'm not throwing off on anybody who has children or daughters or whatever have you, grown women too, but you can have a well-behaved daughter, high marks in school, and pretty much keeping herself for marriage, or so you think. But she could be locked behind the door in her room, wearing some freakish looking stuff, with a TikTok page that you don't know about, or an Instagram page that you don't know about, and she might not even be showing her face, but she's showing her body. And these guys are going crazy. And she may put her area code, her zip code, not the zip code, but the area code in her name. So if she's from New York City, 212 Brenda, you know what I mean? Or Josephine, 407, 407, it's Orlando, Central Florida. So the dudes that see that, hey girl, where you at? Oh, I'm in Pine Hills, I'm in Orlando, or I'm here, I'm in Brevard County, whatever. So what's up? What's up with you? Well, listen, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I'll slip you a few dollars. I wanna see you. I'll pay for the room, whatever. Well, how much you gonna give me? See, She's in her room. You think I'm not trying to put her down. She's doing what she's doing. I'm not saying your daughter's like that. But if, you're thinking she's pristine and everything, and you get ready to go to church in the morning, and she's in the room setting up dates. She's on the whole stroll, the cyber whole stroll. Nobody's going to snatch her when she's in the room. Nobody's going to do her no harm. She's not going to get arrested. But she meets these people, you don't know what can happen. Some of these young ladies are living completely different lives than what you see on the surface. Now, we know men do the same thing too. You got gay men who are picking up gay men and gay boys who are doing, you got all this stuff. We're focusing on this right now. It's crazy out here. We say the internet has ruined a lot of lives. It goes deeper than what you could even imagine. Number 5, the emergency bill scam. She suddenly tells you her phone bill, rent, or light bill is due. She promises to pay you back or reward you later. That reward never comes. You see, men, it shouldn't be where you're looking for this thing, the intimacy, the sex, and all this stuff in exchange for your money. Now, if this is something that I have to say it. If this is something you both agree to, okay, I understand that. That's what you do, though. I've never been into that. But if this is something that you do, you can still get disappointed. You give the money up first? Nah, no way. Number 6, the transportation setup. She claims she needs gas money or bus fare to meet you. You send it, she never makes the trip. Number 7, the fake birthday. Some women lie about it being their birthday, pressuring you to shower them with gifts, meals, or money. But it's the way I see it, after that's done, you're back to the same old reality. And then you need another fool to finance your fantasy life. I don't understand it. Why do they do this? Number 8, the group date hustle. You think you're going out with her alone. She brings a group of friends, orders the most expensive items, and leaves you with the check. This happens more than we know, because guys are not going to go out there and put themselves out like that to say they've been had that way. Number 9, the help me with groceries play. She asks for help buying groceries. You believe you're supporting her household, but she's only testing how much money you're willing to give up. See, it's a test. The next dude might offer more. She's going to go with that dude. Number 10, the quick loan scam. She says she needs to borrow a small amount until payday. Payday never comes, and neither does your money. See, these little things add up, and a lot of these women are getting lots of money if they have 10 dudes that they can rotate this way. Number 11, the online app trick. She asks you to send money through Cash App or another app just to prove you're real. Once you do, she blocks you. Yeah. If she thinks she can get away with it, if you act desperate enough, she's going to ask you. And it's a scam. And you think you're special, and it's not going to go anywhere. Number 12, the surprise fee scam. When it's time to meet, she claims her babysitter, driver, or cousin is demanding money. You're guilt-tripped into covering it. See? Because she's like, wow, I'm so close. Listen, they're going to look after the kid or the driver or the cousin, whatever. I'll pay it. You're so close. And that's usually after a little bit of hot talk. Control yourself. Control your desires, men. Because usually when they get you riled up that way, there's a fee waiting for you to pay. Number 13, the phone bill game. She claims she can't keep talking unless you pay her phone bill. You send the money, then she cuts off contact anyway. Out here in Ghana, it's different out here. Okay, you have your cell phone in America, whether it's Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, I haven't forgotten. And the way it's done, you pay monthly and you get it unlimited, basically, right? I don't know how anything other arrangement may be, but that's what it is. So it's not like that. But out here in Ghana, I've coined a term and I call them data hoes, data whores. I'm not calling anyone a whore, but they whore themselves out for the phone bill. And that's how it works. Out here with local service, you have to top it off, right? And it goes down just like a gas tank. So you pay X amount of money and it's very affordable, extremely affordable, but it goes down, it goes down, it goes down. And so a lot of these women pretty much try to seduce you into giving them money for more data on their phone. And because they're talking to so many different guys, it doesn't last long. And then when you have internet on your phone, it sucks it down even more. So I've had women in the street, you know, in passing in the supermarket checkout line, oh, my data is low, I need to talk to my child in another part of Ghana, another country, you know, oh, please, could you help me with that? All that is game. Because with the young ladies, I'm not saying all of them out here, there are many studious, motivated, clean living women out here, right? But there's a faction of teenagers and younger women who the only thing they're thinking about is their hairstyle and keeping the data on their phone. Base level. Some I've talked to in passing haven't gone far in school, but they're on TikTok. They want that hair done. They want that new dress so they can go on TikTok again and look good for these guys who are in their DMs. And that's the absolute truth. So the phone will run out. In America, you pay your phone bill, you're talking for the whole month with no worries. Here, it's different, quite different, right? Number 14, the sob story scam. She tells you a sad story. Her car broke down, her mother is sick, or her child needs medicine. Out of kindness, you send money. She uses it for her own desires. That's big time out here too. Number 15, the no-show date. She agrees to meet you, accepts money for transportation, clothing, or preparation, then never shows up. Number 16, the lifestyle upgrade. She makes you feel special, but every time you meet, she requests gifts, trips, or shopping sprees. Her goal is not a relationship, but to upgrade her life on your back. Number 17, the rent queen. She tells you she's about to get put out of her home. Out of pity, you pay. She moves on to the next man once she's secure. That's how it is. Number 18, the fake intimacy promise. She hints that intimacy will happen if you help her out first. Once you provide the money, she changes the subject and ghosts you, and more likely blocks you, right? And these women will never let you know where they live or give you any concrete, information about them, because it's different from back in the day. Again, you meet these women on these apps, you know nothing about them, right? They can tell you anything. You might get lucky and run into them in the street, but what are you going to do? You can't put your hands on them. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Number 19, the repeated test. She starts small, asking for a few dollars. If you pay, the requests grow larger. It becomes a cycle designed to see how far you'll go. And see, when they do this, when you hit your limit and you wake up to the scam, well, she got enough out of you over time. And there's other guys. There are other guys she's doing this to pretty much. She's not being faithful to you in her scams. She can have 10 guys, 15, 20 guys coming at her, and she's playing them different ways. But they always want to keep up their appearance, their hairstyle, the nails, and this. And they could be broke. They could be working a job that doesn't make much money at all, but they always got their hair done. Wait a second. You got that expensive jewelry, the dresses, the hair done, the eyelashes, all the nails. Where are you getting money? There are women who work out here on certain jobs. And I know for a fact, some of the jobs out here on certain levels, they don't pay anything. They don't pay anything. One girl was telling me that she got a waitress job and paid by the month. When I calculated it according to the exchange rate, it was only $32 a month she was getting as a waitress. You got to pay fare out of that. You got to get food out of it. How do you do that? So out here, I can see how they get into the mentality of trying to hit these guys. But it's tight everywhere. Things are expensive in America right now. But then now, if things are that tight and you are doing these scams, which I don't condone, why don't you save the money you're getting? Why is it to escape for a time, to feel like a queen for a night? You're dressed up, hair done, nails done, some guy paid for it, but then it's back to square one after the illusion is over. I don't understand that. Number 20, the social media hustle. She makes men compete to send her money by playing on jealousy and attention. Whoever gives the most is rewarded with time, but rarely with respect. And you might not get that time. Brothers, these games are happening every day. Many men feel embarrassed to admit that they've been tricked, and there's a lot of them out there. And some don't care. Their esteem is so low, they rather just pay. So the cycle continues. Silence only helps the scam artist, not the victim. We must learn to recognize the patterns. Real love does not come with endless requests for money. Real connection is built on time, honesty, and respect, not cash transfers and pity stories. Understand that if she sees you as an ATM, she will never see you as a man. Do not confuse charm with sincerity. Do not allow loneliness to blind you. We have to protect ourselves, because when a man is drained of his resources, his confidence, and his trust, the entire community suffers. A broken man cannot lead or protect it. I'll always share this message, not to bring hate, but to bring light. Let's keep our eyes open, our wallets guarded, and our dignity intact. The games will continue. They'll never stop. But if we stop playing, the scammer and the scam loses power. It's such a different world out here now. Seriously. What happened to a young man who really liked a young lady? And she knew it. And he did take her on a date. And he did pay for everything. And it wasn't something that she required to go to this 5-star restaurant and do my hair and buy my shoes and no. You go as you are. You're interested in each other. And I'm fantasizing because those days are gone. But I remember those sweet days. Now, it's so transactional. You got to pay these women in their mind. And for those who are like that, and again, let me just say, it's not everybody. Thank God it's not everybody. But I'm just so glad that I'm not coming up in this particular day, because social media has accelerated everything. Everybody, and I'm not saying everybody, but people like this are trying their luck to see what they can get. Then you got the music videos out there, the manufactured culture, the rap music, the songs that are out here. I was listening to a program, and what's the young lady's name from South Africa? Tyler. They make me sweat, make me, I don't know the words, I know that's how it sounds, right? I can't sing, but you get the gist of it. And she was getting exposed because allegedly she was used as a tool to put like very subtle, filthy messages out there. And I was listening to this thing, and it rang true, because basically they're saying that the so-called Illuminati, or the powers that be, they're getting rid of her. They used her up. But her targeted audience was from 8 years old to 16 or something like that, they were saying. I may get the numbers wrong, but I know it was just down in the single digits coming up. So when she's gyrating and saying things that, you know, kind of softcore sexual, then it's like it's planting these seeds in these young girls' mind. Because there are a lot of young ladies out here, they never had that period where they can enjoy being a little girl or a young girl. It's like you're a little girl and now you're a young woman. And the way this demonic culture, the twisted, engineered, evil culture is producing stuff to influence these children to skip over that period. And it's too abrupt. Maybe I sound like an old geezer who is complaining, right? But it does something to them. And these songs, and they sound so innocent, but it's programming. These young girls a certain way. They get over-sexualized so young. And then we have the pedos, you know, the PDF files. I heard somebody say it that way, right? Yeah, they're there. And they don't mind it. And when you have these female rappers and male rappers who throw money up just to get the woman, and these young kids feel that's the way it is. I can have you if I have enough money. Or the young ladies put it out there, you can have me if you have enough money. If you do this for me, I don't come cheap. They're basically prostitutes, right? And the men who subscribe to the culture feel as though it's power when you have money because I can have you. Not the power that comes from living a respectful life. You're doing the right thing. You're respectful. So a woman naturally gravitates towards you in normal settings. It's not normal anymore. You know? What happened to the days? I have a joke that I share all the time with a friend of mine. And it was many, many years ago, and I was a teenager. I was like 15 or 16. And I was hanging around with this young lady. You know, it wasn't official. Looks like it was getting there, but she wanted me to meet her folks. It wasn't serious or anything, but she wanted me to meet her folks. That's what the time demanded. And it was something because the father was going to come home soon, but the mother was there. So she said, okay, I want you to come meet my mother. And so I came, and I was well dressed. I was mannerable and everything. And I was like, I knew that I'm not going to say the name, but I was like, you know, good afternoon, Mrs. So-and-so. And I'm standing there. And she's looking at me up and down, stern, for about 10 seconds, which felt like 10 minutes. And she looked, and look, picture this. She had the glasses, the little cat eye looking glasses. You know, they kind of point up at the sides, and they had a chain on the side. like those 5 and dime store cashiers, those, you know, clerks. They always had that chain on the side. It just made them look strict. So she looked over and looked me up and down. And the young lady next to me, she was standing there a little nervous, but you know, she's there. And I guess I passed the test. And the first thing out of her mouth, after I said good afternoon and everything, she didn't say anything. Oh, she said good afternoon back, looked at me, looked me right in the eye. I'm 15 years old. I think this was the summer vacation, right? And she said, young man, where are you employed? I'm like, it felt like something hit me in the chest. And I never had to worry about that during the summer vacation or the weekends because my father had his own business. And I told her that. So she was like, listen, I need to know where you're getting your money from. You had young drug dealers back then, right? I need to know where you're getting your money from. You're spending time with my daughter. I need to see some paperwork. I was like, this lady's crazy. But I liked the girl. So my father gave me some stuff to show that, yeah, my father did own the business and we have the same name. You know, since my father's a senior, right? Lancescurv Senior. I'm Lancescurv Junior. Don't ask me for my middle name. I'll tell you, Seymour. Oh my God, I can't believe I told you that. Don't bring it up. I know you're going to get me in the comment section for that. Seymore. Oh God, that middle name made me tough because people tease me about it. Anyway, they had not a cartoon, but back in the late 60s, they had a show with these monkeys, Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp. And they used to tease me about that and my middle name, Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp. If you're old enough to remember that, let me know. Hit it in the comment section. But they used to get me for that. Well, anyway, you know, we hung out a couple more weeks in the summer. And we were friendly, but we didn't really date. We kissed a couple times and whatnot. We stole a couple kisses, real kisses. So it kind of faded out. But that's what we need more now. We need mothers like that woman. Young man, where are you employed? Right? Plus, you don't want to go, Mommy, can I have money to go out on a date and take out? No, you don't want to do that. You want to have your own money. So a lot goes into that, but the generations have changed now. And I wonder if a lot of these young ladies who are very young, I wonder if their parents know what they're doing, for those who are like that. That's what I want to know. Like there are a lot of kids out here living very secretive lives. And I have to say, it's everywhere, but it could be, and I'm speaking from a West African standpoint, when you do have a hard economy and folks who may have had to go to work from young and leave school, and we have those situations in America, but there's always a way made with different programs. You don't have that out here, right? So you have a lot of these older guys, I'm going to say what I see, up in age with me. I'm 62. And there's a lot of these 13 and 14-year-old girls getting pregnant from dudes that old. And I've caught wind of it. A lot of times, the parents or the mother, the single mother, already knew, who did not know the man, but knew the situation, because when those young girls come home with money, the mama's not asking them where they got it from. You see what I mean? If it's an impoverished situation, you see what I mean? I peeped that. I think I told you before, I was in a Denta. Maybe you don't know what that is. That's just the area. I used to do I would go on the overpass and you see the traffic behind me. I did the video there, my side piece name gala. I think if you've seen that, that's one of the more popular ones. I did that a few times down there. And I'll go down there. I pass through there all the time, but soon I'll go down there and do some more. And you remember, a lot of it was on the old channel, but I revived some of them. But I went there this afternoon, late afternoon, because I wanted to catch it when it got dark. I wanted to talk for like an hour, and I think it was like 5:15. But I knew by 6:15 or 6:30 it was going to be dark. So I wanted to talk into when it got dark, and you could see the lights of the car going behind me. I like all of that stuff. But there were some young girls there's a high school there. No, high school? It's like a middle school, junior high school, combined. And they were hanging around late after school. You could see the school girl outfits and stuff like that. And so I know I had the tripod out, and I'm a brony, I'm American, and I look different, whatever, the way I talk, whatever, and I got this camera up. So people walk by, they're pretty much used to this kind of thing, but there's some who are like intrigued by it. You know, sometimes when I'm setting up, people ask me, oh, are you affiliated with a news channel somewhere in another country? I said, no, I live here now, and I do YouTube. And they ask me for the channel, and I tell it to them or whatever. So I'm setting up right here, and these three young girls, they had to be 13, 14 years old. And they were standing about maybe 20 feet away from me. And I noticed they started looking my way. And they're giggling to get attention. Now, I haven't started talking. I was arranging the mics and the wireless mics. And even though it was still light, I had to put a light on me that would stay, that as it got dark, I was still lit up. You don't want to stop the video and say, let me put the light up. So one came over to me and said, my friend over there who was gyrating and twerking every few seconds, my friend wants your phone number. I said, what? I said, what does she want my phone number for? And it was kind of quiet at that point, and they heard me because I said it kind of loud. And they started laughing. I said, listen, I'll give her my phone number if she can bring her father down here, and I'll give it to him. And I'm going to ask him, why does she want my phone number? And the way I looked, I put on my intimidating look, and they eventually giggled a little bit, feeling embarrassed, and walked away. Now, if you can do this to a grown man who appears to be doing something legit, who rejected your offer, that's improper, right? What's to stop them from approaching somebody in the safety of their own room, in their own home, on a smartphone, maybe putting up pictures on a profile? There's no way to protect that child from the predators that are out there, because all you got to do, if they say, are you over 18? You click the button. And I hear in YouTube now in America, I guess it's going to be all over the world anyway, they're going to want to verify your identity. And I, some people say, oh, I don't want to do that. It's the end of YouTube. They want to get into your business. Let me tell you something. The government, the United States government especially, and other governments also, they already know about you. They already know everything about you. You ain't hiding nothing, right? At least they willingly ask you, but they got you already. I know people, I don't get on TikTok because TikTok, they're known to leak information. And look, America does the same thing. They all got you. You got the dark web. You'd be surprised how much information about you is out on the dark web. They have different websites where you can search if there's information out there about you. Pretty much everything is out there. Not everything for everybody, but some people have all their stuff out there. They've been hacked into, using credit cards, buying stuff. It's crazy. Telegram is one. I know I'm a little off topic, but Telegram, I'm on Telegram. I'm probably going to get off it. It serves me no purpose at all. You have nothing but bots and people trying to get you into financial investments, and they put you in these financial investment chat rooms with hundreds of people. And you're like, how did I get here? You know what I mean? I have bots trying to convince me and harass me, and real people too. Can I have a quick moment with you? And they'll have a picture of a voluptuous, sexy woman. That's supposed to appeal to me. Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you. Like I'm a dog. Oh, look at her breasts is hanging out. I'll talk to you. Could be some middle-aged Czechoslovakian man with perpetual 5 o'clock shadow on his face. Let me put this picture up to attract them. And they get these scams, so you just never know. But what's to stop those young girls from getting money from these guys, and a lot of the older guys who are married with wives, but they want some young, tender flesh? I can't even describe it that way, right? I said it because they think that way, but even when I just said that, that's disgusting. But they think that way. And these men will do it. And because out here, you don't have the agencies or enforcement, yeah, you can get caught and get in trouble for that, but it's much looser out here, And a lot of these young girls, they want what they want. They want money to go to the mall to buy the outfits and keep their hair done and whatever. I'm not saying they all will do it, but I had to think, if those young girls approach me for my phone number, they're assuming my state of mind. And that's why the other one was over there winding up, showing me what she can do. So what about the next man they tried that on? They tried me because they might have been successful with it. You get one in the group. Yeah, you know, he's an older guy, but he got my hair done and he got me these outfits and he gave me some money from my pocket. And really? And those other girls might be real dirt poor. I gotta find me one like that. And their eyes are open symbolically. When they say Eve bit the apple and, you know, she knew she was naked. These young girls get this information and it's like, wow, I can do the same thing too. And they keep going and going. It's not just one guy, but I see a lot of young girls out here working down in the market, you know, carrying stuff on the top of their head. And when they're out there, they want to get with the shoppers to carry the stuff for them so you don't have to carry it around yourself until you get to your car and you pay the money. Those young ladies usually come from way out. And a lot of them may not have the education or whatever. And they may speak a different dialect of the language here. And they don't communicate well with the people who are down here in the crowd. That's a whole other story. I'm going to find an article. I would like to read the article I read about those young ladies, but some of them, the situation they live in, a lot of them are kind of, I'm not going to say forced, but the opportunities are there to do illicit things that they may have resisted in the beginning, but after a while, they say, man, life is hard. Let me just go ahead and do this. And a lot of STDs are caught. But a lot of these girls, 13 and 14, not in school, out there working, guys approach them because they feel the power over them because they're out there working for peanuts, working for nothing practically, just to get a meal, just to survive another day. Not thinking about a future and let me go to school or whatever. School, it costs money. They don't have money for that. It's survival. You understand? So the same games are played in America, but it's more of a game. Yeah, you do have those who are in desperate situations, but it's more of a game. Let me see how much I can play this Negro for. Out here, I'm not going to say it's life or death, but it is crucial. And out here, like another video I saw, and they were saying how they really want to try to catch these guys who come out to the motherland because they can go to certain countries where it's dirt poor and approach some of the young ladies, right? There's a movie, a documentary coming out soon. It's going to be on YouTube. I'll post it to the community section when it comes out about what happens out here up in Cape Coast. It's kind of like a known thing, right? These guys go up there and they approach the young girls. They go around the locals and people start looking at you like, oh, he got money. And so the young girls looking at you like that. It's just like the white women that come from the UK. They go to the Gambia to find young black men. They end up either paying them to be with them and sex them, give them something that their old husbands can't give them. And some of them will fake like they're in love with these white women, these old 70-something, 80-something year old white women who had their career, their life, they raised their children, maybe the husband died, and they want some black pipe. They heard about it, they're coming down for it. They come here to Ghana the same way. I think I told you before, I was walking along the beach with a group of people, but I was kind of behind, and I happened to felt eyes on me. I looked over, and there was like a umbrella type thing there on the big though, it was real big. It had several tables under it. There were 4 white women. I'm talking about these ladies were sporting liver spots and they were old. Look, I'm old to somebody else who's younger, but the way they were looking at me. One waved and they were like trying to flirt. I was like, oh my God, oh hell no. They were seriously trying to flirt. They wanted me to come over there. And it wasn't, you know, I knew what was going to go down if I went over there. You know, I'm in this hotel room. Why don't you come with us? Whatever. Because, you know, they live a certain way. When they finally get to a place where they can break wild, you've heard the stories. They go to the Caribbean that way. They come to Africa that way, more and more down here. But the pedos, let's talk about them. Those are the ones who come down here. And I've seen suspect situations. Well, what could I do? Not that they were doing something to a child, but you see them walking around and they're looking and smiling at everybody, and the little young girls, they smiling at them. Some of them are smiling at the young boys. And there's pressure on a lot of youngsters to bring money back home. The parents don't say that, but they come up knowing the deal from the conversations that they overhear, and it's about getting that money. And you see these foreigners, they got money, you go to them. Just like you see a mother sitting on the curb, and usually here in Ghana, it's people from different countries. They may be black, but they're from different countries. And the mother's sitting there, and the father's sitting down somewhere 8 car lengths away, far away, and the little kids, 4 and 5 years old, walking around, coming towards you when they see you and putting their hands in their mouth like they're hungry. And they get that money and they give it to the mother, and the father's over there. What kind of father and what kind of mother is that? What kind of adults are these children going to be when all they did was be taught how to beg? And they're getting older now. And they recently did a sting and deported so many of them. And so I've been here. Next month on the 16th, September 16th, it'll be 5 years that I've been here straight. And some of those young girls that were begging and the parents that are still there, they're older now, a little more developed. And now they got a different look in their eye. What are you suggesting? What are you looking to do? And these men are out here like that. And they can get snatched up. Will the parents care? I don't know. There's a lot to figure out. I've gotten very good in America, looking past certain facades and seeing it for getting tired, for what it is. But here, it's a whole different ball game. Desperation, lack of money, lack of education, lack of opportunity can put a child in a really bad situation. But back to the scams. Listen, fellas, you ain't stupid. Have a little more pride for yourself. Don't get duped into these games out of lust. And if you think it's love, let it be where you take your time. Because if it's love, they're not going to be begging you and demanding all this stuff out of you. It's a different mentality now. A lot of pretty faces out here, a lot of nice shapes. You're a man. You're still a gentleman if you are a gentleman. But don't get taken for a ride like that. You'll end up drained. You need to save yourself and build yourself up for the right woman that comes along that you can build together. And that's the big thing. And this goes for both sexes. And I tell people this all the time. When you meet someone, make sure they are on their own trajectory where they got something going on. They're studying for something. They have a motivation. They're in the process of doing something. Not telling you they're interested in this thing. But if you get to see their place and you see a whole bookcase full of books on architecture, if they tell you they want to be an architect or a fashion designer or an engineer of some sort, right? That's what you want. You want somebody who is ambitious and has a track record, that they're really into this thing. Then you can't go wrong. Or you still can go wrong, but at least you have somebody who's ambitious. But these flim-flam, lackadaisical, non-directional people who just want to lay there and use their body to solicit and get money out of men, or men who, and we're going to talk about the men too on another one, how they dupe you, lie to you, sweet talk you, give you good sex, and you feel so fulfilled, and you feel as though you have a man that's your own, and 4 other women are saying the same thing. And these days, regardless, if you get serious with somebody, they should not mind if you demand that you check their background. Total transparency. Your body is a temple. You got HIV and STDs and the other new configuration of words they made up. All kind of stuff out here. You can't take any chances. You've worked hard and you built your credit up. You don't want to bring a man or a woman into your life and break that down. You work so hard to get to a certain level, or you're in the process of doing so. Get to that point first for yourself so you can be self-sufficient. But don't let anybody use something that you think you need as far as a man or a woman, and they come and jack your credit up. Especially if you get married. Their debts become yours. Unfortunately. Be careful, mind, body, and soul. You have all types of deception out here, all types of devious people out here who are looking for a good mark to use you as a come up. Or they can seem sincere. They'll act, they'll be lovey-dovey, they'll tell you even that they love you, and they'll be so convincing. And how hard and difficult it is that when you get to know a person, or you think you know them, you don't know their deceptive layers, but you're relaxed with them and they've feigned trust. You feel they're trustworthy and you get intimate. And during the intimacy, during those high points, those magic moments, they're looking you in your eye, whispering in your ear, baby, I love you. It's going to be me and you. And you're hitting the pinnacle of those physical, spiritual, and emotional feelings, and it's melding, it's combining, it's joining the soul ties, and you open this beautiful woman with me, or if you're a woman, this handsome man with me, promising me, getting in your subconscious mind, setting you up if that's what it is. So take your time. You're a little horny and you want to meet these people and come over and do this, then you need to be scammed. You meet people over an app, you don't even know if the pictures that they're sending to you are real. And they get you all worked up, but they want the cab fare, they want the babysitter money. They need a bill paid before they can come. And you so gassed up. And there are a lot of men out here. There are a lot of men who get up out their bed next to their wife to go to one of these women on some fantasy tip because you can't leave that porn alone and you want that ultimate orgasm like the crackhead who gets that first hit of crack and it's the most explosive thing to their mind. I don't know about it. I don't want to know about it. I never did it. I don't do drugs. But they say that first hit of crack is more powerful than the most powerful orgasm you ever had. Could you imagine that? I don't want nothing like that. Lord knows I've had some powerful orgasms in my life. I don't want nothing that can mess you up like that. You'll get messed up. And you're always chasing that high. Well, the same thing is with sex. When you had, I don't mean your first orgasm, it could be down the line or somebody who knows what they're doing or whatever, but you're chasing that thing and you'll never get it doing it that way because it's not a full relationship. You see what I mean? That's guaranteed to give you such a fulfilling, good, wholesome feeling when you know the person with you is committed to you. And even when you're intimate, you're thinking, this is my woman or this is my man. Oh man, you see what I mean? That's what it's all about, but don't get duped, y'all. I'm gonna sign off right now. I just wanna thank you for listening to my psychobabble. My throat is dry and I'm stuttering, and but I told you in the beginning, I'm laid back and relaxed, very relaxed. And like I said, I'm loving it, I'm loving life. I wanna share and connect and communicate. If there's any topics that you want me to address, not that I know everything, but from my experiences, maybe you can vibe with it. Maybe there are other people, as a collective, we need to share our experiences. And if you can get one little piece of knowledge out of it or insight, as I do it in a humorous way, then I feel successful. And this is something that I love to do. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. On to the next one. Lancescurv out. It's always a pleasure. Peace.